If you've ever found yourself saying nothing feels as good as binging, you're not alone, including myself. Binging is a real issue, whether it be food or alcohol. Mine happens to be alcohol just from all the partying I did all in my college days. It's hard to cut that habit, but I have tons of clients that have food issues as well. So I wanted to do a video and just put some tips and tricks on either diet changes, exercise changes, or lifestyle changes that I've seen work. But before I start, I'm not a therapist. And if this is deeply affecting your life and there's emotional triggers involved from things that are outside my realm, definitely seek professional help. I just wanted to see, as a personal trainer, coming from my background, what are some of the things I've seen work could possibly help you. So what I want to talk about is, one, why binging happens, specifically to food and alcohol, like I mentioned. Practical things that have helped me, whether it be diet, what types of foods to eat, exercising, hydration. Then two, I want to go into the mindset shift, things that I've done, clients have done that maybe might help you. If you need extra help, go seek professional help. And finally, number three, I'll share my top 3 ways to help with overeating and my top 3 ways to help with alcohol. And I'll include some of my own stories in there. Stay with me. All right, so let's talk about the best ways to help with binge eating, because that's probably most people out there. So let's just go through the ways I've seen help. 1 is stabilizing blood sugar with protein and fiber. 2 is stop the restricting and binge cycle, meaning after you've had a big, horrible weekend or a party day, the next day you completely starve yourself. Now, for the people who do a lot of fasting and have worked up to this type of thing, then we're not talking about starvation, we're talking about fasting, and there's protocols for that, but let's just say you don't. And then 3, identify and try to break the trigger of what's going on. And we're not talking about deep emotional things like I mentioned, talk to a therapist on that. These are just simple things that keep triggering you, like the end of the night, staring at a fridge. So let's go to number 1, stabilizing blood sugar with protein and fiber. Just to let you know, for your body to digest proteins, fats, carbohydrates, fats technically take the longest time to break down. I always say put protein in first because that's just telling you it's most important. So we hit our protein count for the day. And I don't think it really matters between those 2, protein or fats. But get your protein first, then think about your fats. They take the longest to digest. Proteins have a thermogenic effect of how much energy it takes to even digest that food, so you get an extra benefit to that. Then if you're going to have carbohydrates, try to have things that are on a lower glycemic index. So you're talking about your whole wheat grains, brown rice, quinoa, anything like that has a low blood sugar spike and a faster insulin response. I talk about that all the time on my channel. You want your insulin response to be short-lived because then you'll be able to get back into the fat burning mode. Now, how it helps with binge eating is specifically for the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates have the highest blood glucose spike and insulin spike, thus giving you a feeling of extended hunger and cravings. When you had eaten the way I told you to, you'd have the least amount of chance to have those cravings. Also, you'd have the least amount of chance of overeating because you're just so full of protein, good fats, and good fiber, good carbohydrates. So let me just tell you what I did. First and foremost, I've been using a fiber supplement, psyllium husk, 10 minutes before I have any food. It's a good little biohack that coats your stomach, slows down everything, protein, fats, and carbohydrates. On top of that, I'll even throw in some candy every now and then. When you're eating healthy, the amount of food you can eat within your calorie range is ginormous compared to, unhealthy foods, which are tiny and calorie dense. Structuring it this way will make it impossible to binge eat, at least for a while. If you keep this with the rest of your meals for the day, setting yourself up for success. Now, 2, talking about if you are doing a binge cycle, then you go into the restriction and you are suffering, trying to pay back for what you did. And all that does is lower your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. So now your body will burn less calories for that day. And if you're tracking it on a Whoop or anything like that, you'll see it in real time, what I'm talking about. So you burn less calories for that day had you just gone on to like a maintenance level of food. The problem is the binge cycle the next day, called a rebound, and your brain is now overcompensating. You eat even more than you did that first time, and that's a perpetual cycle that you need to stop. So if you binge, that's fine. We all do it. The next day, go back to a hopefully normal or slightly lower than normal caloric intake, and then just move on with your life and try to reprogram yourself. Okay, I got to fix the binge. Quit trying to starve myself after each one. Just do better is all I'm saying. And then number 3 is identify and break the trigger that's going on. For me, it's late at night. I can fast all day, have my first meal at dinner time, and then the engine's running and I can't stop. If I'm out and about and working, I have no problem because I'm busy, my mind's being used, or I'm working out or going on a walk. It's basically when you're at home, you're tired now, that refrigerator is staring at you, or you're sitting enjoying yourself. God forbid you're having fun. And that's the triggers that keep telling you to go back to that refrigerator, going back to that pantry. So you need to replace that loop with some kind of different routine. And like I mentioned, the easiest one is going for a walk. So as soon as you eat, especially if you eat something high carbohydrate or something sweet, it's basically going to be that perpetual cycle of having those cravings. So just know that after you eat, go on a walk immediately after you're done, because that will help the digestion. That will kill those hunger cravings. So when you come back, you'll be less likely to binge again. Other things that have worked are drinking hot tea, chewing gum, having a whole plate of vegetables ready to go. You have to figure out what is triggering you. I just mentioned a couple. Okay, now let's go with some of the top ways to help with alcohol binging. For me, it's Monday through Friday, as healthy as I can be. And then the weekends come, and that's when I want to have fun. And that's what I preach on my show all the time. You have to do all this and still have a social life. With me, it comes with a little bit of alcohol. Definitely do your best to moderate that and drink responsibly. But creating a weekend game plan. Why it works, because most of these social triggers for me, going out and hanging out with friends or even family on a weekend, which already in my head triggers me that this is a social entertainment day. And already the first thing I'm going to be doing is, where are we going to get drinks? So for me, planning that later in the day so I can have maybe a healthy breakfast, a healthy protein shake early in the morning to at least give my body something, and then all fast all the way till it's time to go have fun, instead of starting the party early. Other things that have worked for me is planning to do things like helping set up for a party or a barbecue, finding things to do before you even start your drinking. So you have one cocktail, beer or drink, and then you have a mocktail or a non-alcoholic drink. There's so many of them at the store. Some are expensive. Some of it is just having like soda water with bitters in it. It's cool, it's trippy. Get that one down, and then you'll be allowed to have your next cocktail drink. Having that plan of putting those in between your drinks has just been huge. It's cut basically half the amount of drinking alcohol by doing that. Having food, and you can go back to protein, fat, or taking a fiber supplement to help slow things down, and eating better choices of foods. But come on, it's the weekend. You're going to have some of the good snacks. Just do those good snacks after you have done all the other protocols. Before your next drink, throw in a glass of water, pound it down. If you start making these different rules, not only is it going to help you gain less weight over the weekends, you're not going to be that drunken slosh person because you're having all this healthy food with the good stuff on top of it and then hydrating yourself. It's just a thing you have to keep getting better and better at. Number 2 for helping alcohol binging is, like I mentioned, the way you're supposed to eat while you're drinking water. Have one big massive meal before you drink, because you already know you're going to have those snacks, those crackers, any candy while you're drinking. So eat a giant meal of protein and vegetables before you drink. It's going to slow you down while you still do that method, what I just said. And if you're going out with your friends and you're going to go to this fancy restaurant, I always eat a protein-rich meal with vegetables before I even go. Once you start staring at that menu, you're going to start ordering more than what you think you can handle, which is going to be a huge amount of money. So take care of that before you go. You might actually start doing just a little bit of tapas or appetizers and feel fine, and maybe a couple drinks, and that's it. Since I started doing that, it's been crazy saving money, and you still have fun. Number 3 with alcohol is addressing the emotional root for that, for just keeping it simple. Maybe you're stressed, you have anxiety, or you just tie social time with drinking. Start journaling to see if you can work these things out. For me, being social and alcohol have to go together. Whether or not I can ever solve that problem, I have it down in my journal that this is why I drink alcohol. Okay, what about when you go to your parents' house on the weekends? It's not like you're at a bar with a million friends. Why are you drinking there? Well, it's a stress reliever. It's a weekend. I got to optimize my time of having fun, right? If you're not with your friends and it's not a big, huge event, why do you have to have that? So I've used other things like CBD and different adaptogen type drinks. The list goes on and on of other things you can do to calm your stress down, feel like you're still having a weekend, and maybe you only have a couple different drinks. So just to finish off with other things, if you're drinking alcohol, not only do you need to stay hydrated with water, you need to be having your electrolytes because your body is just dumping like crazy, and you're most likely not putting in the healthiest stuff to offset that. So have some electrolyte water. Have all your non-alcoholic drinks already pre-bought before you even go to this party or wherever you're going. And just to name a few for the alcohol people out there, Athletic Beer, Beero, and this company called KIN happen to be my 3 favorite things to use as my mocktails in between. And for the binge eaters, my top 3 are having fiber with you. It's a supplement called psyllium husk. Take it with you to the parties. Have that with a little bit of water because it coagulates and expands really fast into a gel. You want that to happen in your stomach. Half a tablespoon to a tablespoon, and that'll slow down any bad food, any of your alcohol. come with snacks that are already healthy that have, if you're doing chips, go to Trader Joe's, go to Sprouts, get the healthier ones. Yeah, you spend a little extra money. How much are you spending on trying to lose weight? For the weekends, it's worth spending that extra dollar to get some snacks pre-done, get the vegetable trays. You're not going to cut up your own vegetables with dips. Just buy the stuff that's already pre-done and easy to go after. And number 3 for the binge eating, if you're going to someone's house, always have protein in mind, along with chips and crackers. Get a big piece of meat to barbecue or cook and then slice it up to snack on throughout the whole time. That'll help with the cravings. That'll get your protein in there. And if you're going to restaurants, do the best you can, but always look for protein first and eat that before I start messing with all the other appetizers and drinks. So those are little things that can help you. And like I mentioned, if this is emotionally tied to some other things that are happening in your life, seek a professional that can help you with that. These are just things that I've discovered that have helped with clients, myself, my family, and I have been doing way better in my 40s than I ever did in my 20s. Now that I am over 40, I have to do these if I want a body like I did in my 20s. Thanks for listening. And as always, check the show notes. I've got a free community called SKOOL, SKOOL, that I have my over 40 fitness hacks group on there for the over 40 crowd. If you're interested in the community and asking questions, we go on coffee chats every 2 weeks to talk about anything. It's a fun way to get everyone together who are like-minded, who are all in the same struggles. Thanks for listening. I'll check you out on the next one.